Hi friends, my name is Fireman Mark. I'm a volunteer firefighter here in Baldwin Borough. Some of you may know Miss Stacey from Family Resources up on the 5th floor whenever you went to visit the fish tank. I wanted to give you a tour today of my fire station, show you one of my fire trucks. The fire truck we're going to look at today is 104 engine. So if Miss Stacey would just follow me, I'll give you a little tour, show you some of the things that we have on the truck. So first thing we're going to show you is the driver's seat. This is where the driver sits whenever we get a fire call. So whenever we get a call for an emergency, whoever's going to be driving the truck, this is where they sit at. If you move back to this next door here, this is where all the firemen sit. We come to the fire station, we put our gear on, and then we climb up into the truck. I'll show you my gear a little bit later in another video. This next portion of the truck, we have our hoses. If you look, we have different colored hoses, yellow, red, and blue hose. Every hose does a different job. All these really cool levers and knobs and gauges, this is how we control where all the water from the truck goes to the fire. This next compartment that we're going to look at here, this is different equipment that we use, different tools that we have. If you remember, I said we've got hoses. On every net, on the end of every hose, we have a nozzle. For anybody that's ever seen a garden hose at your house, you've got a nozzle on the garden hose. These are our nozzles. Probably a little bit bigger than what you have at home. So if we move back here a little bit, in this compartment we have different rope and different air bottles. These air bottles, these are what we wear whenever we go into a house or a building that's filled with smoke, so we can breathe and so we can see. This next compartment here, this is where we have different tools that we use. We've got big axes and sledgehammers and different tools that we can break through a door, go through a window, or someone to get to somebody that may be trapped in a house or in a building or in a car. So if we move to As we move to the back of the truck, we look in this compartment down here. This is where we keep our chainsaws at. We use chainsaws if we have to cut a roof open or if we have to cut a door open. If you look up here, we've got all kinds of different hose up here. Most important hose we have is this big yellow one. This is the one we hooked to a fire hydrant if we're ever going to a fire. This end goes on the fire hydrant. When the hose comes off, we hook the other end to the truck. When we turn the fire hydrant on, we get all the water that we need for a fire. So as we move around the truck over to this side, this first compartment that we come to, we've got these big fans. This is how we get smoke out of a house or out of a building. Whenever we go to a fire also, a lot of times it's at night, so we need to bring our own lights. We bring our own extension cord so we can plug our lights in so we can see what we're doing. Here we have more hose. These are hoses that actually aren't attached to the truck. We use these if we have to go to an apartment building, if we have to go up a set of steps. This just gives us a longer hose that we can use. This next compartment, most people in their house, they've got fire extinguishers. So do we. We have different fire extinguishers that we can use. A lot of times when we go to a fire, we can use one of our fire extinguishers to put the fire out. This right here is what we call the jaws of life. If we ever get into a car accident, this is what we can use to get people out of a car. So as we move down, this yellow, red, and blue hose, these are the same hoses that were on the other side of the truck that we saw a little bit earlier. The way these are on the truck, we can actually pull them off of either side, depending on where we need the hose to go for a fire. Again, the back of the truck here, we saw this from the other side of the truck a little bit earlier. This is where all the firemen sit whenever we're going to a fire. And then up here, this is where the officer of the truck sits. He's the person in charge. He tells the driver where we're going, what we need to do. A lot of people have iPads or Chromebooks at home. We have one in the truck too. This is how we can talk to people. This is how we can tell who's going to be coming, who's going to be helping us, or what we're going to be going to. And then the last part here, front of the truck. We carry some tools on the front of the truck. And in this compartment here, there's actually a hose. Just like we saw earlier, the red, the yellow, and the blue hose. And here we have an orange hose. This is something that we can use if it's just a little fire. We can get to it very quickly. We just open this compartment and pull the hose out. Hope you enjoyed your little fire truck tour.